Okay, why am I doing this? I don't know why I'm doing this, but here we go. Honor mode. One save file. No saves coming. If the party dies, the game is over.
Who are you?
So for this playthrough, I knew I wanted to be a sorcerer again, just because I was the most familiar with that class. This time I did choose Storm Sorcery as my subclass. For my background, I chose Charlatan because the skills for that were Deception and Sleight of Hand. I don't know if I'm skilled enough to fight my way through every battle, so I want to have Manipulation under my belt. I ummed and ahed between being a tiefling, an elf, a drow. I could not decide. I kind of wanted to be a tiefling to be something different. I ultimately settled on drow just because I really wanted that superior dark vision. And yes, the thought did cross my mind while I was lovingly creating my Tav. What if I spend all this time making her just to die immediately? And that is exactly what happened. Oh my god, we're gonna die, we're gonna die, we're gonna die. Oh my god, I can't die this early. I can't die this early. Oh my god. Game over. That's so embarrassing. I died an hour and 18 minutes into my first attempt, which in Baldur's Gate terms is basically a minute. I barely made it a minute into the game. So I recreated my Tav and started again. While on the Nautiloid, I met Lae'zel, saved Shadowheart, collected the brain jars as if I'm going to make it to Moonrise Towers, successfully made it to the helm, and crashed the ship in the process. After we crashed on Faerun, I once again ran into Shadowheart.
You're alive. I'm alive.
And made sure to loot all the dead bodies, because what are you doing if not looting the dead? They mostly had fish. I then hesitantly made my way to the brains that had killed me on my first attempt, and I was pretty convinced that I was going to die again, and honestly, if I did, I probably would have given up. After that, we met Astarion, and with permadeath looming over my shoulder, I told him he could take care of that brain by himself.
I was hoping for a kind soul. Well, not to worry.
To which his response was, "Let's wrestle," which I'm not mad at. And with that, Astarion was officially part of our party.
Lead on.
Next up was to save Gale from a rock and... Ooh. Hang on a minute, let me try that again. Next up was to save Gale from a... What the fuck?
No! I'm slipping away! I'll perish in here! I'll perish.
Oh my god, I can't believe I got a nat 1 on every single one of those rolls. Now Gale is just dead. I can't even go back and save him. It's one save file. He's just dead. Permadeath had claimed its first victim. Moving on from that, it was time to free Lae'zel, and I had my first experience with drow racism.
Under elf.
So I threatened them to leave. I tried to teach Lae'zel some manners.
Never.
Now with a full party, I felt more ready to fight people. However, I was still quite cautious and did try to sneak up on this guy and push him off the ledge. I tried multiple times with multiple people and it just wasn't working. Thank God for Lae'zel. We then found ourselves in this spooky underground ruin where it was time to fight a bunch of skeletons and meet Withers. After meeting Withers, it was time for our first night at camp. I made an attempt to get to know my companions.
Chatter already?
Oh, what's to tell?
Must we?
And when it came time to go to bed, I learned that the supplies were 80 instead of the 40 I was used to. The next morning, we made our way to the grove where we killed a bunch of goblins.
Please! There's no time!
I don't get that. Why does he grab the arrow and wave it around? Like, what does he think that's going to do? I encountered some more drow racism.
Pull your claws in, under elf.
And made sure to punch that guy I hate. We learned from Zevlor that the druids were in the process of performing a ritual to lock down the grove.
Nobody's welcome anymore. They've started a ritual to cut the grove off from the world outside.
We did some shopping with the vendors, got to meet a few people, met Auntie Ethel at the grove. This was the first time I'd ever spoken to Auntie Ethel at the grove, and she was lovely. Oh my god, did she just give me a free thing of health? While at the Grove, we recruited Will to our party, spoke to Roland, who actually kind of made me miss Gale. Helped Lae'zel threaten some tiefling for information on the Githyanki crash. We delved deeper into the Grove and experienced some more drow racism.
Calm, Magrin. Give her a chance. You, step back. We'll not tolerate drow in here.
Wait, you just told him to calm down and give me a chance, and then you turn around and insult me?
A moment, Giona.
What? Why would she allow one of them?
But it turns out Korga wanted to see me, so in your face, Giona. Excuse me, out of the way, important drow coming through. Before seeing Korga, I got distracted by Volo.
I've interrogated one.
I tried to go and take care of this bugbear that was sneaking up on a tiefling, but somehow I screwed up the timings, and he managed to kill her before I even got a chance to attack him. Lae'zel told us what happens when you become a mind flare.
Your hair falls out and you bleed from every orifice. Your bones will change form. Your jaw will split to allow room for 4 great tentacles. All skin will turn to gore and be shed to reveal new flesh underneath. Then you have ceased to exist, and a mind flayer is born.
Everyone wanted to talk to me that night. I felt very popular. The next day, we went and met Korga and made sure to save Arabella. We then went and spoke to Nettie to see if she had a cure for our affliction.
I don't have a cure.
She did not. I didn't kill her this time because I'm trying to avoid unnecessary fighting. I then went and found Alfira and was relieved to know that I wasn't going to kill her this time. It's Alfira! She won't die in this playthrough, at least not by my hand. Helped her write a song, which I skipped. I did fail to save Murkon from the Harpies, which was a bit of a bummer. Thank God for Shadowheart, though, because she was the MVP of that fight. We were all at death's door. Both Astarion and Lae'zel had died. I almost died. Shadowheart then resurrected our fallen party members, and we looted the Harpy's nest. We made our way back up to the Grove, where we spoke with Arabella's parents, who gave us a necklace, but meh. We also went and saw Zevlor. Oop, accidentally clicked on Astarion. Does this happen to anyone else? Where the other party members just walk right under your mouse as you're about to click, and you just click on them and start a conversation with them, and they're like, what do you want? And I'm like, nothing, I don't want anything. You got in my way. What was I talking about? Oh, Zevlor. We were talking to Zevlor, who asked us if we could get rid of Korga. We then ran into Raphael just outside the Grove, which was really weird to me because I'd never run into him here. It had always been over by that broken bridge. He then took us to the House of Hope, revealed that he's a devil, blah, blah, blah. We then went and found Edwin and his siblings, and we encouraged his siblings to avenge his death, but decided not to join them because we're only level 3, and I'm not fighting an owlbear at level 3. I later learned that this was a smart idea because there's an extra something in that cave. I rejected the tadpole. Oh my god, ew! Did you just see it? It just crawled away. Why was it so big? While avoiding the owlbear fight, we came across that guy I hate. We then came across Scratch and let him sniff our scent so he could come find us later at camp when he was ready. While I was minding my own business foraging, Lae'zel somehow triggered the conversation with Auntie Ethel and Mayrina's brothers. I did manage to not get Mayrina's brothers killed, but because they wouldn't take my advice to not go confront the hag, they got themselves killed.
We need to get her back, and fast!
Don't go see the hag.
I don't remember bloody asking you.
Oh, okay, well,
Hold on, Joel.
I decided to go to camp, where Astarion tried to feed on me.
Shit.
Obviously, I let him feed on me.
This is a gift, you know. I won't forget it.
Better bloody not. It was then time to try and get that letter that incriminated Korga, and I had to fight a few things to get it. In doing so, I might have accidentally killed Lae'zel. The whole fight itself was a close call, but we prevailed, and I was able to get that letter. And because that fight had knocked us about so much, we went back to camp again. I decided for once I should actually use the alchemy feature, if anything, to get more health potions. And while foraging for more alchemy ingredients, I found Karlach.
Never been better.
I experimented a little bit more with some alchemy. Then it was time to go back to camp to make sure Will and Karlach did not kill each other.
You really are no devil, are you? I've been deceived.
Oh, thank the gods. Thought I was gonna have to take your head.
It was then time to go and confront Korga about the shadow druids. And instead of killing her, I did convince her to turn on them.
The shadows don't forgive.
I belong to the shadows no longer. You've no power over me.
Because as much as I would have loved to have killed her, I needed her on my side, otherwise I would have been outnumbered. And I just can't risk that. I went and saved Sazza so I could have a way into the goblin camp. And I have no idea what happened here. It's like I tried to go talk to her, and then she just started freaking out as if I was trying to attack her or something. And so she ran out into where the tieflings were, and they killed her. I'm really bad at keeping Sazza alive. How hard is it to keep a goblin alive? We went back to camp where Karlach taught us all about demons.
Every demon is absolutely singular. You can't ever think you've got them typed out. Sharp instincts, sharp weapons, and a knack for improvisation. That's the only way to survive them. Anyway, what were we talking about?
And then, what do you know? One of them showed up in our camp and turned Will into a demon. I resisted the urge to loot, spoke to a mirror, found a creepy book. I also learnt that being a drow has some perks.
The goblin seems unsure whether to bow to you or attack.
What do you want? What do you need?
Ooh, I like this. This feels good. And I was quickly brought back down to reality by this guy.
I'm a deep gnome, you're a drow. You helped me, now you plan to enslave me.
What the fuck? Anyway, back to the perks of being a drow.
Shove out the claw. Drow coming through.
Oh, this is amazing. I didn't even have to say anything, and I leveled up. I didn't even need Sazza. While on our way into the goblin camp, we were mentally bombarded by the Absolute, who told us about her chosen. Then the artifact stepped in and saved us. We stumbled upon Volo. Oh, I've never noticed that before. We went to go trade with the goblin, and is he peeing? Seriously? Once deeper into the Once deeper into the goblin camp.
That's it! Welcome the pain. Let it become part of you.
We made sure to get our kinky blessing, freed Volo, then went to camp to see Volo. Lae'zel tried to kill me, and we got our first visit from our guardian. I can't put my finger on it, but something about her just looks really familiar. The next morning, I got my new eye, and is that blood new? Okay, so my notes say dream visitor tall. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to say talk, meaning we talked to the rest of our party about the dream visitor. I then went and spoke to Priestess Gut and stupidly decided to try and kill her. As much as I tried to big brain this fight and be stealthy and do everything I could think of to stop her from alerting everyone else, I did forget to destroy the war drum, so that didn't help. But we successfully killed her and all the goblins in the area, but we were now an enemy of everyone in the goblin camp, which was probably not the smartest move to make. So we killed some more goblins, went back to camp because we need to rest a lot, because we take a lot of damage in this mode. There was a bit of camp drama between Shadowheart and Lae'zel. Shadowheart then tried to kill Lae'zel. I then decided to go confront Minthara, and I also thought I would big brain this by being invisible, and I was going to go in and, I don't know, push her into the pit or something, but that stupid eye clocked me immediately. To my surprise, though, I won. I mean, I got the shit kicked out of me, but the rest of my party won. Because without an army of goblins, Minthara was actually quite easy to kill. We found Halson and asked him to join us.
Be warned, my presence could make things more difficult. I can only restrain my bear form so much. I won't be able to help but attack goblins. If I join you, we'll likely have to slaughter this entire place.
Yeah, no, that's no problem. I've already killed half the people anyway. When it came time to draw Ragslan, I once again tried to big brain. I sent people up into the rafters. It kind of wasn't going to plan, and then out of nowhere I had Karlach throw a barrel at Jorah Ragzlin and it just knocked him off into the spider pit and he was done. So it was easy as that. More camp. Had another visit from our guardian.
The power I used to protect you, I stole it from someone. They want it back.
And with all that, the grove had been saved. And as a result, we then triggered the party event for the next time we have our long rest, which I wasn't too thrilled about because I'm pretty sure my approval rating wasn't very high with many of the companions at this point. We then met Mol for the first time, introduced Karlach to Dammon, watched Halsin rip into Korga.
I ought to exile you from this place. Forever.
We then convinced Lump the Enlightened and his ogre buddies to join our side. I then decided to go and interfere with the good times in the barn, purely to get some XP. I was feeling a little bit reckless and overpowered and decided to go and kill those guys for Karlach and almost died. It was a close one. We kind of almost lost it all. I was getting a little bit too reckless. And after that fight, I couldn't avoid the long rest any longer. So I reluctantly went back to camp, party started. Not to my surprise, Astarion didn't want to romance me.
Not with you, just to be clear. I mean, can you imagine? Ugh, no.
Which is fine. It's totally fine. But I also decided I'm cutting him off. He's not allowed to feed on me anymore. It's called boundaries. When it was time to go to bed, I learnt that Karlach and Shadowheart were both interested in moi. I chose to romance Shadowheart purely because I one day want to romance Halsin. Spoiler alert, I definitely don't make it far enough to romance Halsin. But I got to keep my options open in case I did, you know? The next day we went to go save Florrick. I failed to kick in a door because I'm not strong. So I decided to send Karlach up to go save Florrick. For the first time ever, I successfully saved that trapped guy. And kind of wish I hadn't, because he started talking about money and a dowry that his partner had on her when she died, and I didn't loot her before going to free him.
If I just kept my mouth shut about that bloody dowry, she'd still be here.
And now he was standing over her. That didn't stop me from trying to loot her anyway. I made Astarion invisible, tried to loot her. He caught on. He wasn't happy. And she only had $13 on her anyway. We then made our way round to the Githyanki, where I successfully convinced Voss not to kill me. We went and killed some hyenas, went back to camp. We told Lae'zel we met Voss.
Still Kithrak, Knight Supreme, an honorable warrior, Vlakith's finest. I am impressed. He wanted your head, yet it remains firmly atop your shoulders.
I have no idea what this note says. Respec. Did I respec my characters? So I decided it was time to go and finish off the rest of the goblins, because we still had all the ones that were on the outside of the camp to take care of. And it did end up going well for us. I even summoned Lump, the Enlightened, and his friends to come help, but we got our asses kicked. When I realized things were going bad, I quickly made sure to get at least one of them out of there. It just so happened to be Tav. And so when I went back to camp, I only had enough money to resurrect one party member. Went and sold some stuff to get more money so I could resurrect Astarion, who I then swapped out with Karlach.
Oh, darling, I'm hurt.
And instead of getting more money to resurrect Lae'zel, I decided to send the girls in to go and rescue Lae'zel. So I thought that might result in us saving more money. And it all went horribly wrong again. I managed to get Shadowheart out of there. And once again, I only had enough money to resurrect one person. Sold everything I could and resurrected Karlach and Lae'zel, which in the end cost more money than had I just resurrected Lae'zel in the first place. I wasn't really sure what to do after that. I was feeling a little bit defeated. And there weren't many low-level fights left to do. I went and spoke to the Gur and was gonna kill him, but then last minute decided not to because I was still quite shaken up by what had just happened at the goblin camp.
May your road be kind.
Wait, that's it? We're just walking away? Don't you think we should do something about the vampire issue.
I then went and confronted Auntie Ethel, fought her minions, and then made it to level 5. So I decided to go deeper into the hag's lair where we fought her minions. They were pretty easy. And I tried to be smart once again. I tried to stealth around, set things up. And then we got into a fight with Auntie Ethel, and it did not go well. And we all died. Game over. After 22 hours and 36 minutes at level 5, it was game over. But you think I was just going to give up that easy? No. Here's a little bonus clip of my third attempt that didn't go as planned. It all started with Mole asking me to steal the druid's idol for her.
Big, shiny idol they're all chanting at.
Something I had never done before in a playthrough. And my stupid ass forgot to make sure that the ritual had been stopped before trying to steal the idol, and it was a bloodbath. Worst of all, Dammon died, so how am I supposed to fix Karlach's heart now? But hey, at least I got this cool ring. Oh, Halsin's never gonna want to sleep with me now. And stay tuned for my 4th attempt, and we'll see how long that series lasts. And I'm also going to try and get into the roleplay a bit again with that one. Because I need to do something different. This is my 4th attempt at Act 1. I need to shake it up a little, so commentary and roleplay is coming back, baby!